A little bit of luck on your side. Wee bit of luck. Guys, when I say wee bit of luck, is it like 3 weeks? All that to happen in 3 weeks? I mean, come on. There's some higher power working with you. What up, y'all? Today's episode of the RV Voice is brought to you by RV Fix. And let me tell you, if you've ever found yourself stranded with an RV issue miles from the nearest service center, you know how frustrating that can be. Well, that's where RV Fix comes in. Imagine having a master RV tech right in your pocket. Yeah, you heard that right. With RV Fix, all it takes is a quick phone call and boom, you're connected via video call with an expert who can guide you through fixing your issue, saving you both time and money. Then here's the kicker. Try RV Fix risk-free with a 14-day free trial. You'll need to enter your card number just like most subscriptions, but don't worry, you won't be charged until after the trial ends. If you decide to continue, please use the code RVVoice at checkout. This really helps support the RV Voice and keeps us going strong, and we really appreciate it. Seriously, guys, this is a game changer. Stay on the road and keep your RV in tip-top shape with RV Fix. Learn more at rvfix.com. Welcome to another episode of the RV Voice. This is actually round 2 with these folks because, well, internet connection problems. They had problems the first time because they were in 50-mile-an-hour winds down by the coast, and now I'm having issues. So, is what it is. We're doing all right. We're going to make it happen. This is actually my first, how do I say this? Travel trailer family that's actually still in the travel trailer. How about that? That's a good way to put it because they're kind of new at this. They're a little early into the game. They are Bostoners, if I believe that. If I said that wrong, he's going to be mad. But anyway, these guys have been on the road for, I think, just over a year or so. Shannon and Manny with RV Living Life. Welcome for round 2.
Yay! Hello, we made it. We're here.
Well, I was right. Boston, right?
Bostonian.
I didn't even say it right. God, I'm sorry.
They have other statements. They like to call us massholes too. Yeah. It's pretty close.
I like that one. I like that. Awesome.
Oh, I need some of that.
Well, Shannon and Manny. Did I say Manny? Did I say Bobby?
Yep. Yes, you got it.
Manny, okay. You got it right the first time.
I feel like I have another Shannon and Bobby coming up.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. We know them.
Oh, you do know them. Okay. So yeah. Well, good deal. Well, I actually got to meet you guys before we tried to podcast, and I met you down in Tampa.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is awesome. Second attempt.
Yeah, we got this.
This is like a round 3 for us now. I mean,
hey, you know what? It takes 3 times. Third time's a charm.
Yes, right. Exactly.
That's right.
Perfect. I'm pumped for it, guys. But hey, real quick, you have your kiddo and a cat and a dog, correct?
We do. Yep.
And you're traveling in a 2002 Coachman.
That's right.
Spirit of America.
Yes, sir.
America.
Gulf of America is where we actually are.
That's awesome.
We've been in our travel trailer for just under 2 years.
Just under 2 years, so I was incorrect. I apologize.
That's okay.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, you guys have an interesting story because most people buy, I guess, a newer rig. You guys bought it's not vintage yet. It's the 25-year mark. 25-year mark is vintage.
Getting close.
We're getting there. Can you get old plates for that too? You know, like vintage plates for your RV.
I wish.
Maybe when we get to 25-year mark, we will.
Awesome. Go antique.
It's an antique model. It goes thousands of miles across the U.S.
Doing good. She's doing good.
It's only insured for so long. Awesome. Well, guys, let's hop into it. How did you go about choosing your first RV? Because it was a little different. Oh, am I on the right mic? I am on the right mic. And a little different for you guys because I'm guessing you were still living in Boston at the time, right?
Yes.
And then, I can't imagine what Massachusetts is for price of living or cost of living. I'd imagine it's pretty high because it's Boston, Massachusetts area. That whole Northeast area is pretty expensive, right? Yeah. So, what inspired you to transition into full-time RV life, and was it kind of on a whim, or did you actually kind of plan for it? And then can you share your story of how it just all got started?
Yeah. So we definitely made the move due to financial reasons. Some people do, and some people just want the financial freedom. We were doing it due to going into basic debt. That's like the real, right? When you live in Massachusetts, our rent is like so insane.
Our rent was basically $2,300 a month
To live in an apartment.
in an apartment.
Yeah.
Yes, and when I tell you,
Two-bedroom apartment.
it was a 2-bedroom. It had space, but we had started at about $1,400, and then within 2 years we were banging that $2,300 line,
And they were just upping our rent, and our lease was coming up, and they were like 3 weeks before our lease was supposed to be renewed. They said, "Oh, we're not renewing your lease because we want people who pay more, and we're gonna probably up it to like $2,500. So you got 3 weeks to like hit the curb, bro." Yeah.
Jeez.
So we hit the curb in 3 weeks, and we made sure that curb was running when we did.
It was crazy. Skylar and I were driving down to Disney from Massachusetts during those 3 weeks. So 2 out of those 3 weeks, Skylar and I were actually in Florida, which was nuts. We had already paid for Disney. We paid for everything. And that stuff don't come cheap. So we were like, we're still going. Everything's paid. We're hitting the road. I drove Skylar and I all the way down to Florida. But right before we hit the road, I looked at him. I said, "Hey, listen, we've been looking at full-time RVing or living in a tiny home for years. That's something I've been wanting to do for a long time."
Oh, yeah.
We looked at tiny homes for a very amount of years. And the only problem with tiny homes is you need land.
Yep.
And buying land like right now is just crazy. Unless you happen to find that gem, like it's just a lot. So we're like, what's the best next thing next to a tiny home? Campers, right? Hopped on social media, started following full-time families. I got right on Facebook, and we started looking for campers. We're like, how can we get a camper without going and putting down a crazy amount of money, having to deal with a dealership? It's just in 3 weeks, it was unrealistic to even try to do it like that. So hopped on Marketplace. We actually had a pop-up camper.
So we had started. We've been, like I said, we've been camping for 14 years now.
We're a huge family.
Before that, we had a pop-up, and before that pop-up, we had actually used her father's pop-up, which he never had used at all, and was given to him. And was a nice yard relic. It was very nice in the yard, but it didn't do anything outside of the yard. So we started in that, and once we started in that, it was love the whole way through.
We've always loved camping. I mean, she's been camping.
Got chills. Literally chills.
Ooh.
We were bringing Sky camping. I think the first camping trip, she was 7 months old.
Yeah.
And now she's 10. So we've been always doing it. So we did a quick little flip on our pop-up.
Yeah, the pop-up went from $500 to $3,500, and that $3,500 went into our beautiful home that my wife decided that it was her call when she made it and built it and sold it, and that's what we ended up with was our 2002 Coachman.
Yeah,
and we love it. And we
remodeled it for
$3,500.
$3,500. Everybody out there is buying Brinkley's. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
We painted the pop-up, put new floors in it. We reupholstered all the cushions. We made it look like a brand new pop-up. It was beautiful. And I flipped it from $500 to $3,500. I looked at Manny. I said, "I'm gonna find a camper that's not gonna cost us $1 more." I was like, "But we gotta go and." Every person that answers us, like, we have to go look at it. And we went and looked at a few campers. And I think it was like the 4th one we looked at. We met a very lovely older couple who was buying a newer camper, getting rid of this one. They were ready to upgrade. And I signed those papers that day. My brother-in-law picked it up for us. And 3 weeks later, we were moving out of our apartment and pulling into a KOA.
Which we were now work campers at because we managed to score a work camping job in our town.
In that town,
the very week that we needed to actually figure out what we were doing.
So we were able to stay in our hometown. We found a camper. We moved out of a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-balcony apartment, it was a big size. Like we had a lot of stuff, and moved into a 23-foot camper.
We went from 1,297 square feet to 121 square feet.
How much? 1,200?
1,200 to 120.
It was a big apartment.
Cut it by 10. Cut it by 9, 10. 90%. Goodness gracious.
We had to get a large storage at first because the amount of time for us to move our stuff and go through our stuff was just like it was insanity.
Yeah, everything got put into storage.
We got rid of a lot. We got rid of like our big couches and some of our bureaus, things that we knew were easy replacement. And kept like a lot of Skylar's stuff and some of our Manny's tools and
all the
things like that.
But most of the unnecessities that we weren't going to need and we realized that we weren't going to end up holding on to, sold them off, put the good stuff in a storage, and we still have a storage up north. We go back to it every year.
Downsized when we went up in the summer. We went from a
25 by 20 to a 5 by 10. 5 by 10, yes.
Yeah, so we went through. So you kept all the good stuff, the stuff that you can't basically irreplaceables, right?
Exactly,
100%.
And then the stuff that you're I can't use, like your couch, like your big,
RC cars and stuff like that can't be replaced. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I get it, dude. I get it. Love those things.
It was a crazy, intense experience.
Craziest 3 weeks of my life, I'd say.
But I wouldn't trade for anything like this. I love our story just because not everyone has the means to go to our dealership, buy a brand new camper, and invest. And I hope one day we can. So give us a follow.
One day
we can. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That is our goal for this year. We're hoping we can move into something bigger.
Yes.
We are hitting our 2-year mark in April, so it's getting a little tight. Our kids getting bigger and older, and we would like a little bit of our own space, but it's worked.
We have space.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, your own little door cut off. Yeah, I got my own wall.
Was a personal touch of our own.
We added that on.
Oh, did I also mention that we flipped this entire camper before we moved into it in that 3 weeks as well?
Man, it sounds like a busy 3 weeks.
It was insane.
Full remodel,
but
full paint, floors, everything. Luckily, I have a brother. I will say this. I am blessed to have a brother who is a full-time RV technician. And
hold
on. This is for you guys.
People talk with their hands.
We had an earthquake.
Like the table's shaking.
The Portuguese stops.
The Portuguese and the Italian, such a bad mixture.
You gotta use the hand
the whole time. And do a dance.
So that is how we got this camper. This is how we ended up in this
crazy story, but
in our home.
And this all happened within 3 weeks. So you had to go down to Florida. You looked at every single camper. So a short amount of time, you were blasting messages on Facebook trying to find a camper. You met this old couple.
Yep, exactly.
Bought it.
Bought it, put it in our storage, remodeled it at the storage, sold the other stuff that was in the house, got everything registered, bought the truck. I'll blow your mind.
Slow down.
It gets better. It gets better. Wait till you know about the truck. My beautiful.
So a quick step forward. We got into our camper. We were very blessed that we were finding a work camping job that was like in our local town. So it made it easier for us to get into our camper and then be like, okay, that was intense. At least we're still near, his mother, our Skylar's grandmother. We're still able to be like, all right, now let's figure out what do we do from here. Our work camping job didn't work out there, unfortunately. So we did a nice quick month and a half at KOA. Yep. Again, we were very blessed. And we were transferred to a KOA to a Jellystone park. So we spent a whole summer at a Yogi Bear Jellystone with a water park. It was
pretty amazing.
It was incredible. It was an amazing way to start our journey. And then we spent the whole season there, skip forward, because, it's Massachusetts, so campgrounds close. So once that campground was closing this past a year ago, November, we were like, all right, now we got to figure out what we're doing. Are we headed south? Are we going to Florida? What are we doing? So I convinced him to get 1,000 Trails Pass because if you know, right? 1,000 Trails is one of the best ways to travel, especially as a family.
Full time on the low.
It was such a blessing for us to be able to hit the road. But we got our 1,000 Trails Pass in October, and we
left November 6th.
November.
But I bought the truck on October 23rd, literally 2 weeks before we were about to leave, and I didn't even have time to do anything on it.
Yeah, we didn't have a truck. That's what he's getting at. Is we didn't have a truck at all. We had a Dodge.
We had a Dodge Journey.
Dodge Journey.
It
There we
would have
go.
pulled a nice dirt bike down the road, but that was about it.
But not a camper.
Yeah, not much.
So we had our camper, but we're like, how are we gonna hit the road without a truck?
Yeah.
So Manny, that's when Manny came in. He's the truck finder. He always has been. We've always been very blessed with him being able to find crazy good deals on vehicles. Again, either on Craigslist or on Facebook.
So if you're looking for a car, hit me up. I'll help you.
I'm trying to get rid of my Jeep right now. You want to sell that?
Hey, don't
Yeah, we'll help you out.
Tell me
Let's
what
talk
it
later.
is. I'm dead serious. I owned Jeep New England on Facebook for almost 10 years.
We're big Jeep owners. We went through like 10 Jeeps. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
11.
Yeah, that 22 Gladiator, lift it up, murder it out. It's all black.
Nice.
Ooh, that's
that's
a nice
so
one.
fun.
Yeah, she ain't
That's so
ugly. She just pricey.
Yeah, I get it. That's
Yeah.
why we left Jeeps, because it was a never-ending bill. It's like a boat.
Yeah.
They never
Yeah.
stop.
Very much so.
It's like a boat.
I have not had the just empty every pocket moment on any Jeep that I've ever owned, luckily.
I haven't either because I've always had a backup to take apart from.
Yeah, well, yeah, I had several Cherokees back in like high school, and that was like,
That was awesome.
That was me. I'm a
We had a
square
lot
body
of
extra.
Cherokees.
oh, they run forever, baby. Yeah, XJ.
4.0 for life.
We did. We even had a 2-door one at one point. It was so fun.
Damn,
It was
that was my
really
first
I had a
cool.
2-door 5-speed actually.
Yeah, it was
Mm.
fun. So
did
yeah,
not
right
have a
before we hit the road, Manny found
Yeah, so I found
our Chevy.
I found the 04. I got an 04 Avalanche, and the funny story about the truck is I had been looking at this truck for almost 2 months. 2 months I kept looking at this truck. I kept seeing it on Marketplace. Never clicked it because the lady had the thing listed for $15K. So I thought in my mind, hey, this must be one of those one-of-a-kind one-offs you're never going to find again. I'm not going to bother. It kept going on month and a half, so I finally woke up one morning and we were getting close
He's like,
to the
where can I
point.
message her and see what happens?
And I messaged her. I said, "Can I ask you why the truck is $15,000?" And she said to me, "It's not $15,000. It's $1,500. I put the price wrong."
And no one has messaged her because it was $15,000 the whole time.
So I hopped in the truck. I asked her her address. I hopped
So
in.
we literally got in that car and we're like, let's go, let's go.
We're out here.
We bought it right then and there. Manny gave them the money, shook the hand. We wrote it off.
We'll do the better deal. I actually got it even cheaper than they listed
Yeah.
it. I showed up, and because as random as this is, I was a Portuguese guy, and the guy was a Portuguese guy, and he couldn't talk English. So he was trying to tell his wife to tell me what was going on with the truck. And then the second he realized I was Portuguese,
It was done.
went off. He gave me the full listing, everything taken care of, crate engine, all the good stuff. And I gave him $1,000 for the truck, and I drove it to Florida, and I have put now 38,000 miles on that Avalanche for $1,000 bill and maybe a couple $100 in maintenance.
Isn't that amazing?
So shots out to Chevy. Chevy, if you
We love
see
you.
this, we love you.
You actually made it possible for us. It is cool though because it happened. It worked.
It worked. Everything worked out, and that's what we basically want to tell people, no matter what. At the end of the day, if you think you truly can't, like if you don't even think you could,
It's possible.
you can.
It's possible.
You can.
Isn't that cool?
A little bit of luck on your side. Wee bit of luck. Guys, when I say wee bit of luck, is it like 3 weeks? All that to happen in 3 weeks? I mean, come on. There's some higher power working with you.
Absolutely.
Amen to that. I ain't gonna
Absolutely.
lie.
It was a lot
100%.
of chaos, but it truly worked out at the end every single time. And that is like that's all we could have ever asked for.
That's awesome.
For
Well,
sure.
good for you guys. So preparation and planning was a little different for y'all.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like, holy crap, we got to get out of this thing.
It was like
This
full roller coaster the whole time. No stops.
And it's
All
funny
right.
'cause
It's all right. Obviously, it's worked out. 2 years later, you're still doing it.
Yeah, I mean April 30th will be 2 years for us, so we're right around the corner for our.
I mean, at one point, I was working 90 hours a week doing the night job at doing Amazon Federal Delivery, plus coming and working the day jobs at the campground.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
we saved enough to get it going, and we did it. And like I said, anybody can do it.
Yeah,
Brinkley or 2002 Coachman. Just saying.
right.
If you do thumbs up, this thing might catch it. Sometimes we'll do like hearts and stuff.
Come on, give me a heart. All right, it doesn't want it. I'm
He
fine.
doesn't want it, but it looked like a bubble. It's like, bloop.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's not working. You guys crushed it. I mean, the fact that you did it. I mean, besides, I know you said you liked the idea of like tiny home life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, was there more to it than that? Did you dream of it? You said you liked camping, so that's a part of it, right? But was it just like a stars aligned moment? Like
This
the
is
door's
it.
open, might as well take it.
Yeah, exactly. I
We-
mean, I've been trying to convince him to get on the road. I mean, in a tiny home for probably 10 years. I've always wanted this lifestyle. We
Yeah.
have moved around a lot when it comes to apartment. It's kind of crazy. And I told him at some point, I was like, we move so much anyways. Like, why are we doing it from apartment to apartment?
Yep.
It's like at one point, we were moving every single year. Like, when February rolled around, like, we were moving again. And we were moving from Massachusetts to Florida back to Massachusetts. And it was, I mean, we even did that within 5 years. We moved from Mass to Florida back to Mass. And I was like, this is insane. Like, this is getting too much.
Yeah.
And when we moved back to North, I was like, this is why we left. It's too expensive. Like, It was insane. And never mind that trying to find an apartment with a big dog is what made us struggle. That's why they charge us so much, because anywhere that allows the dogs in Massachusetts, they're like, over $2,000, here you go. So that was like, oh my gosh, we love a good fur baby. Are we kidding?
You are beautiful.
Yeah, he's a pain in the butt, though.
Oh, what is his breed?
He's a husky mutt of some sort.
He is gorgeous.
I love him.
Yeah, he's a husky, though. He's a lot to hang on to. You know, big dog. I'm actually, so everybody out there, I'm actually at home. We've had issues at work. Yeah. But anyway, so it's my sister's dog. I'm actually taking him back to Nebraska next week.
Oh.
I mean, I travel too much. It's what I do. So it's like, for me, it's hard to.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. So he'll be all right. My parents have hundreds of acres around them. So
that's incredible. He's gonna be living the life anyway. He's gonna be grandparents.
Yeah. So you had a big dog too at the time, moving
yeah.
once a year. I literally, when my friends asked me to like help them move, I'm like, I will give you $250 to not ask me.
Big hog.
Hey, Poocher.
This is Big Nugget.
Say hi.
He's a big baby. He's too busy climbing and chewing his ball right now.
There he is. 2 dogs on the show, first time.
Oh, yeah.
I love
That's our big baby. He's my love.
And then we have our little cat, which you
just added. Yeah, he's crazy.
He's mean. We're just gonna leave it at that. He's mean.
That's fair. So it's kind of a little bit preparation and planning. It was a little different for you guys. It was kind of just it hit
was
the fan. Let's go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. Let's get it done. We talked about it for 10 years. We've mentally prepared about doing it over and over again and wanting to.
But I think it was the Band-Aid that we needed. I think it was that, like, rip it off. I was like, listen, it's now or never. Like, the universe has handed to you. Like, do you want to do it or not? And we're like, let's go. Let's go. And I mean, 2 years now, the amount of money we've saved and not paying rent almost makes me want to cry. Like, it's just, it's so incredible. It's so incredible.
The experiences that we've been able to give to our daughter and see things in places that we and I and her have never been or driven or been able to explore far succeeds anything that I could say. My parents and everything they did was amazing. They raised, thank you. But being able to
live different lifestyles
and just see what my daughter is seeing now is incredible, because she gets to see so much. And we do too.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
We're on the Gulf Coast right now. In January.
So the preparation was crazy. It was crazy.
So question on this then. I mean, one, you didn't really have a how did you choose your first RV, because you just chose one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but since you've been at it for almost 2 years, how would you, or what advice would you give someone trying to buy their first RV?
Oof.
This is different. So, you guys are kind of like, here's the full timers, and then there's Shannon and Manny. There's people that have done it like you, as in like just going and like getting an RV, right? Yeah. But to get the way that happened, and then you get into an O2 at $3,500. You know, you're asking for other issues. to be
Yeah, exactly.
20-year-old RV.
The one thing we got very lucky was the
structure.
gentleman who sold it to us, his neighbor, which was his best friend, sold it to him. So we kind of had a good idea, and he was a mechanical engineer, so
Yeah.
he was very savvy about keeping everything working really well and everything being the way it was.
And those were the only two owners before us, was them and their neighbors. So it was actually really cool. Like, we knew, like, those were the people that had it, and that was it.
Really?
Yeah, so we
Yeah,
definitely
so
lucked out with that. So
very
I mean,
lucky.
when it comes to buying an RV, my personal advice, I know it might be a little like unbiased, but I would do almost what we did. Maybe have a little bit more time to plan. Maybe not do it in 3 weeks because that was crazy. But I definitely suggest buying a used camper before you hit the road, because we saw so many people, especially during the big C, right? The big COVID. How many people went out and bought brand new, beautiful campers that never even camped? Didn't know nothing about camping, nothing even about an RV, never mind camping. And then they're buying these $100,000 campers for them to sell them a year later, 2 years later.
And
you see
lose their shirts on them.
Yeah, exactly. You're going back
Bad.
what is
Big time.
happening? So I would definitely suggest look into a used camper. You can even get, used campers at dealerships. So you don't have to go buy a brand new 2025. You don't got to buy a 2002 like we did. But I would definitely stick with a used camper. Or if you've never camped before and you're looking to full-time RV, go camping. Okay? Do a whole month. Pack what you can, like you're going to go move out, and go for a month. Don't go home. What you have is what you have, right? And see if you can survive a month living in the camper, the RV, whatever it is, that you get.
Mm-hmm.
But try it out, because, we saw the amount of campers when we were looking on Facebook, obviously, because that's where we were looking. So many brand new, beautiful campers that people are just bought because they're like, oh, this is a good idea. Let's do this.
I can say I've personally spoken with people at the campgrounds and heard from the mouth, straight from the mouth. I really wish I never bought this camper. How many
so
times
much money?
I can
My
tell
payments.
I've worked now at campgrounds. I do maintenance. I'm always, helping the guy out who doesn't have the tool and might not have this or the other thing. But the one thing I can tell you, I truly hear a lot of, out of all honesty, is I really wish I didn't buy this camper. And why? I don't necessarily think it's always because of the problem or the issue that they may have.
It's being unexperienced.
It's just because they weren't truly prepared for what they were getting themselves into initially. And then they look back and they go, wow, I probably could have dealt with like a 30-footer instead of the 44.
That's the other thing is,
and stuff
don't
like
buy
that.
so big. I know it's people are like, you live in such a small camper, and we've gotten comments all the time, especially the kids. The kids are the first ones to rip us apart. Sky's friends are the first ones to go, you live in such a small camper.
Why is it so small?
Always. But we're the ones that it's so funny. It happens all the time. Her friends rip us apart. I'm like, ugh. Tell me how it really feels. Tell me how you really feel, man.
Yeah.
However, we can fit anywhere. And I truly think that took our advantage, especially down here in Florida. We never had an issue last year, even with buying our 1,000 trails a month before we hit Florida. And people usually book their spots 4-6 months right before they hit Florida because it's crazy. You can't find spots.
It was amazing. We
never had an issue.
And the call, well, your camper is, and then to be like, wait, how big is your camper? We'd be like, well, it's actually only 24 or 25 feet. And they go, oh, we could fit you in here. And
I booked it under 22.
Oh, jets are going over.
You hear that?
You can hear it.
Yeah, I do. What is it?
It's jets.
So we
nice.
We live next to a base, which is
the Naval Forest.
Further south towards Pensacola. But they do the flyovers every day in the F-22s, basically coastline. The bomber went by yesterday. Shannon got a great video of it. It's cool.
We got warhogs and boys here.
Older campers.
What'd you say?
Older campers.
Older campers?
Yeah.
I missed the question. Now I'm lost.
I was saying, I would just kind of do something similar to what we did. That's all.
Yeah,
maybe
definitely.
Not so crazy.
You said buy used. Go camping. Used. And don't buy so big.
Exactly. And don't buy so big.
Yeah.
Don't buy so big.
Upgrade. You can always upgrade, spend a year in the camper. 30 feet, I think, is like such a beautiful, soft spot, like a good medium size. Like 30 feet is bigger than ours. You got a good amount of space. You could probably get another room for the kids if you have one.
Yeah.
But like 40, 45, that's really big. It's really
Too
big.
much. Too
It's
much.
too much. It's a lot more than people realize. Like, unless you're stationary and you're really not moving around, then like that's cool. But
Yeah. Now, you guys are a family of 3 with 2 fur babies, right?
exactly.
You heard of Naomi Nelson, Naomi
No.
Berry,
I don't know.
No.
A Little Wild, a Lot Free.
Oh yes, that I do. Yep.
So their first year on the road was in a Winnebago Mini Winnie, and it was 7 foot wide, and there was 5 kids.
Wow.
3 to 5 kids, and 2 dogs.
Wow.
And they were pulling it with a Ford Flex.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah, their first year. Like, y'all are nuts.
That's a flex in its own right there.
That is cool.
And now
Anything's
they're in a Class
possible.
A, a big Class A, but it's just the fact that that's how they decided to do it.
That's
right.
They made it work. They made it work.
And you can make it work.
Yeah.
And it's really your mindset. At the end of the day, you're going to spend your time all inside of the camper that, you chose a lifestyle
To be outside.
But yet, your lifestyle is bringing you indoors more now that you have this giant 44-foot camper that you are just so comfortable being in.
Right. And people ask that all the time too. They're like, "Oh, your camper is a lot smaller than the average like full-time family camper."
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? I'm like, well, we're outside. That was the point of us moving into the camper. It wasn't to be stuck in the apartment all the time, not doing anything. We did that for too many years. Like, we never did anything. Like, and we're outside all the time. So I mean, the only time we're inside is like to go to bed and watch a tiny bit of TV before we go to sleep.
Some more.
They're right over the top of us. We might not be able to hear you for a second.
Oh, you're completely fine. We have Warhogs here that fly out here.
That's cool.
They rip, and then we'll get the 16s every once in a while, but not very often. Or 22s. I don't even know what the heck they are, but whatever.
Right.
They're loud.
They're loud and cool.
They're loud and fast.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
fast.
Yeah, America.
And we're in the Gulf of America now, boy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. Well, so being that you've moved into a smaller space, 90% smaller than your last home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brings up your daily life and your challenges and solutions, right? So a typical day is going to be a little different for y'all. You don't have a washer and dryer in that thing. I'm guarantee it, right? So I'm guessing you use, what do you call those? Laundromats, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Cooking and cleaning might look a little different. Cleaning, just still regular day tasks, but what do those things look like for you?
So as far as it's just a smaller space, I have to say, I think living in an apartment almost gives us, excuse you. Hi.
Yeah.
Excuse you. I think living in an apartment kind of almost gave us an advantage. We've lived smaller than your typical bigger home that a lot of people do move from, right? They're selling their house and they're moving into a camper. So I think as far as kitchen and cleaning and cooking, that gives us a big advantage. I'm used to a smaller kitchen. Every apartment we've ever lived in has had bigger rooms and bigger bedrooms and bigger living rooms, but we've always had a tiny kitchen. So it's almost like I don't really have a problem at all. Like, we use our 4-burner stove. I cook in the kitchen, cook in the camper all the time. I actually cook in the camper more than I thought I ever would. When we were in Massachusetts, we did have a Blackstone griddle. I did a lot of cooking on that. But ours was an electric one, so it got major water damage when we moved to Florida, unfortunately. So that got trashed like over a year ago.
First week, I think we were there.
Like,
first 2 weeks,
stinky.
Left side stopped working immediately.
No.
Yeah.
So sad.
Oh, and guess what? You can't replace those on Blackstone. Y'all got to at least. Can you replace your electric side griddle one side?
I know. It was amazing. It was an amazing griddle we had. And we had it for a few years in the apartment. So it was like our way to be able to grill in the apartment because we couldn't have grills. But as far as like cooking and cleaning, my biggest complaint is that our sink isn't big enough and we always have dishes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a big one for sure. They're not meant to be very, it's all tiny spaces, right? 120 square feet.
I Like I can cook 2 meals, and I'm like, why does it look like we have thousands of dishes and I haven't cleaned in a week, and it's 2 meals in the sink? Like, so we definitely do dishes more often. Sweeping is like, I vacuum like 7 times a day. Sweeping and vacuuming never stops.
Especially when you live near the beach.
Oh, sand and dogs, and you got the cat. They go outside too.
Yeah. We have white sand. It's all white sand. So it's so fine. It goes everywhere. It clings to everything. It blows everywhere. Every morning I gotta blow everything off.
It's real fine, isn't it?
Yes,
like dust powder. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%, totally.
Very, very fine. Very fine.
It's itching my foot right now from it.
But I mean, it's just, I don't know, like I don't even know.
I mean, honestly, it looks like every other day somebody had to clean their own apartment, minus the fact that
that doesn't change. Like I wake up, we make coffee, I make breakfast.
Yeah, I go to work. Cleaning. We do the same. I mean, I work where I live, so it's nice. It's really convenient. I don't have to go far. I get out of my camper and I get on my golf cart and I go to my office.
Right? Yeah. So we are a work camping family, right? Yeah, it's the best.
So
100 yards away. Hey.
I love riding by on the golf cart. And Skylar's like ready to jump on. I'm like,
yeah. Nope.
I don't think so.
Gotta finish your schoolwork.
We have in our regular day life. Like he still works every day.
Yeah.
Excuse you, sir? No computer. He works like a 7 to 3, so he goes to work. I do homeschooling. We still have like a very typical like everyday life. The only thing that's different now, I think, difference of like our life before is that we just spend like 80% time outside and 20% inside, when before it was like 80% inside
and 20% outside, especially being in the cold up north.
Yeah.
When we're up there, it was the end of September, beginning of September, and it was already dropping when we were in Maine. I was working.
Oh my gosh.
It was
getting cold.
It was already 37, 39 degrees. I mean, I know you're from the cold, so you know the cold. He's like 37, 39.
That's
what is that? I'm walking. My shoes are off.
It's nice out.
So I was out on the Panama City beach snow with my Crocs and no socks on. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'm tough.
I love it, but it's
got to prove his manlyhood.
It's just too cold sometimes when it's like that, and we wanted to get away. Hey, you drive an all blacked out Jeep. You got plenty of manlyhood in you.
Yeah. That's all it is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh goodness.
So, I gotta say, life is still the same in the camper. It really is. I mean, if people,
we also started homeschooling. We were not a homeschooling family originally.
That's true.
We'll hop into that. Don't go deep into homeschooling.
But that was something that definitely changed our everyday routine. Was just adding that part in for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah. Well, a question so, Manny, do you do a lot of like the repairs and maintenance on the RV then? I
do everything.
Yeah.
I do everything and anything. From restructured plumbing, electrical, anything. I've been in maintenance my whole life. So, and like I said, I'm blessed to have a brother who was a
phone call away
15 or 20 year RV certified technician and owns his own shop and does custom work. So
that helps.
I got a phone call friend and I called brother Paul and he is right there.
Real quick, just because you said that, if you guys want someone like a brother in your pocket, RV Fix discount.
RV Fix.
I was just going to say it. If you don't have a brother-in-law, RV Fix for sure.
Virtual call to the tech right there. Right there.
Make sure you get on that. RV Fix.
I think that it's so important.
You guys are doing something great with that. It's genius.
Yeah. It's so important to have someone or have a source like that to be able to access if you need help with RV. Not even just with something old, but even some of the new RVs, like, some of the newer malls have things break and you're like, what's happening?
It's not if, it's when. It's a guaranteed. It's a guarantee.
Absolutely. It's not if, it's when. Facts. That's so sad.
Well said.
That's how I sold to people. I sold to people that when I was selling RVs for a year and a half, I was like, I can guarantee you one thing out of this transaction: problems with your RV. I was like, whether it's from me, Marketplace, your Uncle Dan, like doesn't matter. Like,
doesn't matter where, who, or what. It's something along the way. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It will break.
It will break. Absolutely. We have been very lucky with an older camper. We've only had like one like major, not even major water leak. It was like under, what was our gray tank?
No, it was so the pump, one of the hoses that's in between our live pump for the well, basically just started to crack because it was old. So I went under there, but it leaked. It leaked maybe about 10 gallons of water on the floor, and then I realized it. So
we kept poor Sky.
Yeah,
Sky has a really my poor kid. She has a really bad habit of spilling water. So we kept thinking that the water was on the floor from her, as silly as that sounds. And then we're like, because it's next to her bed all the time. And then we finally were like,
oh, it's not her bed.
It's the hose pump. That's good. That's good.
That makes sense. Oh, awesome. So question then. So Manny, you take care of all that. What about like shipping and packages and mail? Because everyone goes about it a little differently. It sounds like it's pretty similar. Like Amazon drop boxes, it could be gas station drop boxes. I guess that's a thing.
Yeah. So definitely when we were on the road, it was Amazon, all Amazon boxes pretty much the whole time. And if we were at a campground, we would just ask them, are you guys okay with us having packages shipped here? Most of them were all right. Some of them will charge you a fee. Not really all of them, but that's true.
My dog just walked in here and farted and walked away.
Dude, that's the worst thing an animal can do.
Awful. Buzz, what the
I totally got one this morning. I was like passed out.
Brutal.
Don't you love it?
Uncalled for. It's awful. Jeez. Now get. Sorry. What the hell was that? I gotta let him out.
He's like, I just want you to know that I'm still here. I can't. That is so funny. Our boy does the same thing all the time.
He's so cute. That dog is adorable.
Hey, the peach. Uncalled for. Sheesh. Still here.
We're still here.
He's like, excuse me.
That 5G's working like it should.
Light the candle.
I'm setting the mood to get rid of the fart.
Hold on, let me get some background music going in a second.
Careless whisper that we need.
Yeah.
All right, back to the podcast.
All right, here we go. Focus.
So Amazon drop boxes, you guys were on the road. You said that mostly that, and then when you're at like work camp spots, you can get stuff shipped in because you're an employee there. But now, what about people that like Thousand Trails? They all right typically?
Yeah, we've actually never had an issue with Thousand Trails.
Minus having to pay $5
only
a package.
one location,
That's it.
which everyone knows. One location likes to charge $5 a package.
No matter whether it's this big or this big.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And we've spent 2 Christmases in a row there. Actually, we spent 2 Christmases and 2 Thanksgivings and Easter there. So we're always, that's like around the holidays, obviously. So they make a pretty penny over there for sure.
Yeah,
but other than that, yeah, we've never had an issue. All of our packages have always arrived. We've never not gotten them.
And I have I have USPS, the direct mail, so it basically notifies me of all my packages. Anything that gets shipped, I know everything that gets dropped. And I get a lot of stuff like shipped to Massachusetts. If I can't get it shipped here, I'll ship it to Massachusetts.
Yeah, a lot of our like important mail, like our mail, we have right to his mother. Just so
I'll ship it right to my mother's house, and my mother and brother live in the same house. So my brother will be most of the time just, hey, where's it going? And now they know we're stationary, so they just pop it in the mail and send it to wherever we are.
Well, very nice. So
not everybody has that. Not everybody has that luck and that benefit. So, I mean, there are other options. We've looked into the UPS store a few times.
Yeah.
There is an option there where you can use the UPS store, and they will forward basically any mail that comes to your regular USPS box to
UPS.
them. Yeah, UPS box. Sorry. But there's a lot of options. There are many. It depends if you're in a town for a while. Some places will give you an okay. You can get a paper that'll say you're going to be staying there for a certain
Do
amount
like
of
a
time.
PO box,
And a PO box, you can open a PO box there.
which that's what we did when we originally were still up north. We got a PO box first at our, when we first got into the camper, and then we had that the whole time we were in Massachusetts, and then we're like, all right, now we're hitting the road. So we just did a lot of like shipping to the campgrounds and took huge advantage of Amazon lockers. Like that's
big time.
A big big helper for sure. I mean, we all do Amazon anyway, so.
Yeah, I've heard other people do like the same thing. They're heading this way, so they ship something to a friend that they're out there.
Yep.
A lot of people that a lot of the people that I've talked that have been in like military backgrounds, they have friends all over. So
right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because that's how it is, right? So it's like, oh, we're heading that way. I'm going to stop by. I'm going to ship you a package.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Yeah, so that's another way to go about it. Seems like you guys got a good rap on shipping and mail.
Yeah, and I do a lot of like, especially over the summer, I did a lot of
the TikTok sales,
TikTok shop stuff. So I was getting a lot of packages while we were on the road. So I was trying to schedule the packages to arrive to our next campground while we were traveling every 2 to 3 weeks, and the universe was in our luck. It worked, and we got everything while we're on the road. It was awesome.
Yeah,
you guys got some luck on your side, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
we have so much.
It's fine. We have a lot of bad luck, but we also have a lot of good luck. Like
you can't have it all. You can't have all one.
We have like really big bad luck, but
so
everyday luck I feel like works in our favor, if that makes any sense.
No, I gotta say it the other way. We have really good luck when it comes to very important things.
Yeah, okay, I agree. Yeah.
Where but then I don't say this. I'm faithful. I pray to God, and I say my prayers all the time and thank whoever is up there helping us. So whoever has and whoever is, they've always came through at the right time. And we've just been very lucky to always have that good luck on our side when we really, really needed it.
Yeah.
Faith.
Yeah.
Faith, good luck, universe.
Cheers to that.
Good on you, pals. We mentioned homeschooling.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is something that I like to talk about because it's been a hot topic currently. And personally, I think that most of these kids that are being homeschooled or on the road schooled, right? They're going to be coming out ahead in a lot of ways. Maybe not. So maybe the only thing I'd say maybe not is that the fact that they're not more like working in major groups all the time, right? Constantly in the mix of things. But that being said, they have to step out of their comfort zone to be in the mix of things, which is a totally different, maturity at that age. And the other thing was for me, I'm an athlete. I played college football. So I was always in sports from
that's how I was.
Age 7 till 23.
Yeah.
That was my life, was sports. So this is one thing that I like bringing up. We can talk a little bit about the homeschooling too, because I want to know about that and how you guys go about that and how it's changed your lives. But also sports, how do you implement that? Because I wouldn't be me without athletics. If I wouldn't have done what I did in athletics, I would not be where I'm at. I know that for a fact. I might be somewhere else, might be somewhere different.
Right.
Wouldn't be here.
It's a big deal. Manny and I grew up so differently.
Yeah.
He wasn't, he was active and did things did a lot of BMX riding and things like that. But I was like you. I was always, from age 7 until I was 17, I was in some kind of something, whether it was t-ball, softball, dance, gymnastics, cheerleading. It was always some kind of something. Excuse you, sir.
Yep, all the time.
He's gonna keep coming, making his debut.
So the difference between our childhoods growing up basically was she was born to parents that were from here. My parents are from Portugal. My parents came into this place and they had no clue. They weren't sports. My father's sport was soccer and soccer only. Yep. So there wasn't really a sports background in my family, and there wasn't really much want, not from just my parents, but from the kids themselves. We never really were interested because our parents weren't either. I did a lot of extreme sports. So I found BMX bike riding. I found skating. I found all the extreme sports were my thing growing up. So I could, 4 or 5 years old, be on a bike she'd be at a dance class.
Right.
You know, so we got raised differently, but when it comes
for Sky,
to Sky,
I mean, we were up in Massachusetts for a while, so that was a good advantage where we still were able to sign things up for our hometown. So she was in soccer for a while. Okay. She did do a few years in dance where, you know, we did that for a little while. But we did take a break probably the last year and a half, not really doing many activities, being on the road, moving every 2 to 3 weeks. Definitely, I will say that is the one thing that's a little bit harder, which we're trying to figure out ourselves, is how to keep the kids in activities. Because I find it important. I find it, as much as we do love homeschooling, I think bringing, just like I said, bringing kids together in a group is so important. And free playing is great. You know, the kids come together at the campgrounds and they'll free play and their imaginations grow, and it is amazing. But having a coach is like, it's just different. They give you a different kind of structure outside of the home, outside the parents, and not with quote unquote teaching, right? Just a different kind of teaching. So she recently just got signed back up into gymnastics now that we're still stationary again. So we're trying to do that, like getting her into local places, looking into like jujitsu. So, I mean, as far as like homeschooling, you may not be able to do so much like towny stuff because you may not have a direct address, so you can't sign up for the town stuff. But there's so many like gyms and other places that provide like soccer teams at like these different kinds of gyms that you could sign up for the kids for, or gymnastics, or like karate. I definitely encourage that because again, you're meeting other kinds of kids and other kinds of families. It doesn't always have to be RV life and always homeschool life. It's good to have a good mixture. Mm-hmm. So she is in gymnastics. She does it every Tuesday. Yep. Hoping to add some kind of sport.
But she does her own sport. Like, she's big into fishing. She
loves fishing.
She's fishing, so she's
fishing,
getting
swimming,
her angle of her style of what she wants to do with her activities, and we're just trying to help encourage them so that way she's staying busy and we're actively seeing her get into something that, you know, is going to push her forward instead of always just the stagnant.
You gotta push the body, pushes the mind, right? I mean, that's what sports and athletics was about. I mean, like, I would not be me. I would not be me without football. Like, that was my first love, and that's literally the walking off the football field for last time was like, that's it. Like, I will never go back. That was it. That was it. That was hard. Then I had to figure out who I was next.
Right. Exactly.
That was 14 years of my life. That's who I was.
It's crazy. You don't realize how much a part of life it is until you have to leave, and you're like, no, what? What do I do? Yeah. That's how I was with dance. It was, I mean, I danced 24 hours a week, 6 days a week, from 3 to 9 every single day, Saturdays 9 to 5. Like, it was my life for years and years and years. And I mean, until it wasn't. Then I was like, okay.
It is brutal. But it sounds like there's a lot of ways to get kids into that stuff. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've heard like the Nomad Nesters. I mean, you ever heard of them? Katie and Vern?
Yeah, of course.
Wonderful people. Like, one of my favorites. So they did things. So they've been at it for quite some time. They took off, I think, 20 years ago, and then on their second time going full time.
Wow.
But anyway, they did it to where, like, they made it like all right, well, you want to learn how to surf, then we're going to the beach. Oh, you want to learn how to hike, then we're going to the mountains. Oh, you want to learn this? Like, they kept it around. They actually, and then there's also places where you can go and, like, we can put you in the school system. We'll do like a situation like yourselves for like the 3 to 4 months of soccer. And then we'll pull you out. Like, there's schools that allow that. Yeah. So, I mean, and then obviously jiu-jitsu, karate, there's people that like did family karate, you know, I've heard that as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I feel truthfully like actually homeschooled kids. I mean, they always come out a little different. They just do. It's how they are. Yeah. Right? I mean, I don't think they get the culturalization. Is that even a word? The big picture of culture. The big picture of culture across the U.S.
Yes. Yes.
Culturalization. That's a new word today. We're using it.
I love it. It's so true, though. I mean, we coming from Massachusetts, and I'm not going to say it in a bad way because I don't want to come off wrong, but we live in a very boring. How can I say this without sounding awful?
we live in a town or in a state that has a lack of culture beyond belief. It is very...
The most culture we have is Portuguese. We do have a lot of Portuguese people in Massachusetts.
Really?
Yeah, it's a huge community because it's right across. So when they go from Portugal and they take the boat, it came back to Massachusetts. Yeah.
Well, which way are you going? West.
Exactly. West, and it's like that way, straight across. And that's what happened. They all came to Massachusetts. That's how all of his family's here.
Yep.
His parents came over in the 70s, but I totally was off my track. I thought you are non-stopping.
He's going for the camera. He wants your face.
It's all
He's
right.
like, I want to play.
Wouldn't be the first one.
It is nice being able to travel around, meet different cultures, meet so many different families that come from different cultures and different backgrounds and different ethnicities. I can't talk.
I can't say words anymore.
It's just, it is. It's a different kind of experience for homeschoolers. I do love it. And we pulled Sky. So we pulled Sky out a little bit differently again because our story is a little different. Sky was not really, it wasn't that she was struggling in school. It was more that she had a very old school, rough teacher. And she was in 2nd grade when we pulled her out for homeschooling. And this woman, I mean, they're 2nd graders. What do 2nd graders do? They talk. They're going to play. They're going to be loud. They're 8-year-olds, right? And Sky was getting like straight punished for talking and being an 8-year-old. And the teacher wasn't telling me. Yeah, that was me too. Major ADHD, right?
Give me 2 seconds. I gotta let the dog back in. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh,
Go. I'm gonna need a new water. You gonna keep coming in front of the screen, mister?
So I got these new socks. I can slide real far.
Like the Tom Cruise? I do gonna say it.
I know.
The what?
The Tom Cruise slide.
Like the old school, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just no. I have pants on.
I was saying we don't really see any of the camera. I'm just saying.
I have pants on. Everybody, I got pants on.
He said, I got pants on too.
Okay, this is
No,
good.
I'm
This is
kidding.
good. Glad.
Oh,
Okay, so yes, 2nd grade, and the teacher was old school.
Yeah, so she just, long story short, we were just not getting communicated that there was struggles and that, she was talking. And one day, Sky came home and she was like, I just don't want to lose recess, or I don't want to not do the activity
I don't want to be in
the
corner again all day. And we were like,
it wasn't a corner. It was like she was missing out on an activity, and it was like the day before vacation. And I was like, what do you mean you're missing out on activities? Like, what are we talking about? So I instantly, mom bear mode, get to the teacher. I was like, what is going on? We need to talk. Like, please call me. What's happening? And yeah, I found out for like a few weeks, Sky was missing out on activities and like fun crafts and like things that truly help children, not just math, but like kids need more than just that, right? They need breaks.
Yeah, let the creativity flow.
Yeah.
No, she wanted to kill the creativity.
Yeah,
hard.
she just was.
Oh boy, I got a story for you.
I was like, yeah, we don't punish for kids talking. Like it's not acceptable. Like if my kid's like whacking other kids or she's saying things that are very inappropriate and not okay, then absolutely by means call me. If we need to take away the activity because of something bad, that's one thing, but like you're not going to take activity because she's a social bug.
There was just
it was just a lack of communication. I couldn't take it anymore. She was 8. It was too much. So also her schooling where we were, our bus system was shared. So we were the first school system that was picked up on the bus, and my 2nd grader was getting on the bus at 6:45 in the morning.
Oh, I was getting up at 5:45.
Yeah.
I lived out in the country. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like what? See, that's crazy. I can't fathom like
15 miles from school though, so like it was like I was the first stop. So 5:45. Yeah.
We were 2 miles from the school.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like a 4-minute ride. Like we were the closest.
There was some days where the school wouldn't even drop her off. They'd get out of school at 2:15 and they wouldn't be home till sometimes almost 5 o'clock. There were days I actually had to call the school.
Be like, where is the bus?
Yeah, I had to call the bus company a couple times in order to go literally get my daughter off of the bus because they told me that they wouldn't have my daughter home for another hour and it was already 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And this
We
was
grew up in
like not
different
just
places.
one kid. Yeah,
like,
it was
just too much.
It's like a 12-hour day for the kid. I mean, by
Yeah.
that time you've been. It's just too much.
At 8,
in my opinion, it's too much.
It's just too much. So we said our story right. We had a 3-week move to move, and we did move to a different town that was about 40 minutes. And we were like, are we really going to drive her to this school system every morning for 40 minutes and then drive home every day for 40 minutes? We're like, this is crazy. Absolutely not. So we're like, well, she's struggling anyways. We don't like the teacher. Let's homeschool. Let's do it. And we moved in April. So she got pulled out of school basically right when May started because we got in our camper April 30th. So we'll say May 1st, right? So she had a month and a half left of school before we pulled her out, which some people are like, that's kind of crazy. But it was like an early start to summer. We still started homeschool, even though she only had a month and a half left. We still did schooling up until summer. And then the following year, we just were able to start, the whole year with homeschooling. And since then, that's what we've been doing. It's been great.
Interesting. Yeah. I grew up in a Catholic school system, so it was pretty brutal. But they didn't win. I won. You can't beat my personality out of me. Heck
yeah,
no.
That's tough.
I was the problem child. But what was it, Matilda? Matilda had it easy.
Oh,
Is this why we get along?
Matilda had it easy.
Matilda had it easy? Oh no, that's so horrible.
Easy, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, we don't have to talk smack about my grade school. We don't need to do
We'll
that.
talk later.
Yeah. I wouldn't send my kids to that.
That's how a lot of school systems are now. It's like, we survived it, but when I send her there, probably not. Yeah.
No.
That's how I feel.
But anyway, so homeschooling started quite early for you guys. Well, basically right at the time. So works out. I think they're going to do great. I think she's going to turn out just fine. The talking, I mean, I understand talking. You got to get class done. But being too chatty, I understand that too.
Yeah, me too, right? I was like, oh, talks too much. I was like, have you met her parents? I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's in the bloodline.
Strong.
Genetics. I'm sorry.
Nothing I can do.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the next thing here. So financial aspects, I mean, life changed, right? You guys are doing things totally different now than you were before. You had more of a consistency of income in a different way, right? You said you were working for Amazon. And what were you doing, Shannon?
Oh, I'm not going to cry. So I had my own business. I'm not going to cry. I'm fine. I had my own business. I was a very successful photographer. I had my own photography studio in Rhode Island. It wasn't in Massachusetts, as funny as that sounds. If you know, Massachusetts and Rhode Island are like this.
Yeah.
And where we lived, it was a
20-minute drive
it was nothing.
to Rhode Island.
Yeah. And Rhode Island is so much better than Massachusetts, with everything, with taxes, the way the people are, just all around. So I was a photographer. I did mainly weddings and boudoir, and I loved it. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
it was very nice.
You're in person.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved capturing special moments. I love building women's confidence. I love just connecting with people one-on-one. It's just photography is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then I was doing photography up until right before we hit the road. We were preparing, right? We hit the road in November of 2024 in
23.
23?
We hit the road in November of 23.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, my God. We're already 2 years in. It's crazy. I got COVID in the end of September of that year. And I got it really, really bad.
Yeah. How bad? Like
so bad that
she lost 30% of her vision and now can see black and white spots, and in shade and dark she really can't see much of anything at all anymore. And she was diagnosed with arterial uveitis, which is basically my eyesight's going slowly deteriorating eye condition that breaks down her iris to a point where eventually, no clue if it's 100%, but possibly could go blind completely. So
I'm sorry, that's no fun.
It's crazy. It's actually to laugh. That's part of the reason why I think I fell out of the camper, because I really just couldn't.
Sorry.
I know.
You had to bring that up?
We had to break up the serious moment, okay? This is how I deal with it. It's called it's a really tough situation. I had to laugh. I was about to cry. I had to do it. It's a tough situation, but it's like literally out of my hands. I got sick, and I got really, really sick, and it was crazy because I've gotten COVID before, and I was very sick the first time I got it a year before, but like I got like a really, really bad flu. I was like, we're gonna be fine, and then we're preparing to hit the road. We're getting ready to start, heading to Florida and planning all the trips, and I just got so sick. I started going to work every day, and my eyesight just started deteriorating, and I got an insane skin infection. Manny says it looked like I got acid thrown on me almost. Like it was raised, into my eyes.
So,
it was just in my ears, like my whole body was just covered.
It was bad.
It was bad, but I'm here. I've cured a lot of it. I am so thankful. I'm so thankful.
She was bald in November of, let's say last Thanksgiving. I shaved her head the day before Thanksgiving because she was losing full grapples of hair out of her own head. It was really bad. She got to a point where even as her significant other, I was so concerned, and
it was scary.
It was petrifying. It was really, really petrifying. I had talked crap about COVID and talked about, I went through it. Did nothing. I got my.
You ever realize how bad it can be until someone gets affected as bad as I did? And because like I said, we all had it before, and we're like, okay, round 2, here we go. We got this. We'll stay inside. We'll, quarantine ourselves in the camper, and we'll be all right. And I only knew Sky had it because I tested her. She didn't show anything. I think she had a cold for 24 hours. Manny got like 2 days worth of sickness, and I was gone and out for almost 4 weeks.
Now, mind you, for the record, folks,
it was crazy.
I gotta say this. I have a great immune system. I have an amazing immune system.
Show off.
I fight it all off.
Show off.
That about killed me too. It was awful. I had the second round of it. The first time was like a weird, like I had hot flashes like for weeks. And then the second time it was like, man, it put me down. I lost 10 pounds in like 5 days. Wow. Like I could not, it took all of me to get to the couch, and I couldn't eat, couldn't drink, couldn't really sleep because I'd be sweating through my sheets. Right. It was so bad.
It sucks the life out of you. And it's crazy how it like truly like battles everyone so differently. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah. I got but she's
financial.
So she
so that, long story short, to get to my health, is I had closed down my business, obviously, because being a photographer and losing your eyesight is probably the worst nightmare. So I stopped photographing
in June of 2020.
Last October.
So
was my last session.
October of 23.
24.
23.
23?
Photo last year.
Why am I a year ahead? Because I'm 2025 now. I'm so confused. Yeah. So 23 was October, was my last session. I did a wedding and a couple of boudoir sessions in my studio. And then we hit the road. I kept my studio because I was just holding on to hope and praying and everything, that it's like, maybe I'll just get better. Maybe this is just, nothing has changed. So when we went back up north this past year, I did close down my photography studio completely. Sold everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's now
so I haven't worked myself since October of 2023, which is hard because I'm a very independent go-getter. I've run multiple businesses. I've run companies.
She was the breadwinner. I'm not afraid to say she was the breadwinner in the home for 2-3 years without a question. Yeah. She 100%. I don't fault her. She made more money than me on a tree and a limb sleeping in the dock. Kidding me? That's a fact.
What was that? A tree and a limb sleeping in a dock? That's a saying I've never heard, and I've said a lot of stuff.
I got a whole bunch of them. Don't worry.
Got me sweating right now. Yeah, so I haven't worked, so it's been tough. I think that's been the hardest struggle for us is having one income and being on the road.
But luckily, thank God, with saying that, with her, she does all our influencing. She does everything when it comes to the social media. Everything. I can truly say that I go, hi.
Yeah.
I love that. You see that point right there?
Thank you. And then that is why I actually started content creating. I've always posted on social media like everyone else, right? And and then once my health really took a toll, I looked at him. I was like, oh, we got to do something. Like, I need to do something. I see everyone on social media, you know, monetizing and truly like making a living off of this. And like, if we're traveling and we're doing this, like, why aren't we doing this too? So I hopped on the bandwagon too. I was like, we're starting Instagram. We're going to make our TikTok. We're going to do it. And that's what I do now. So I do our content, but I'm very thankful. We're always able to kind of do a work camping position, which
that's pretty much what
has changed. That's what's made it possible for us living on one income is we get exchange for stay, plus he's getting pay.
So it makes it a blessing. It just helps out. When it comes to the end of the day, most of the time you're worried about paying rent and paying the electric and paying the stuff, you know, the big bills that are going to keep the roof over your head.
Right.
And obviously everybody's always worried about food. But when you only have the one income and you are traveling and you get to this position,
it's hard.
It makes it such a relief to not look at the day. Because, I mean, in the area we live, it's probably $1,500 rent, you know, $2,000 rent. It's a beautiful area. I couldn't imagine, you know, at the end of the day, I look at myself like I make two incomes most of the time because we have what we have and we still have the extra.
Right.
Yeah. So we're very lucky, and the way we did it is the best way we could have done it.
Yeah. And you have your camper paid off, $3,500
completely.
You got the truck for $1,000.
Yeah.
Paid off.
I mean, you're not paying like everybody else is, you know.
No.
So those are two payments gone, and then your work camping, so you get your stay basically free.
Completely.
And you're making money on top of that.
Yes.
So you guys are fine. Doing great.
It's amazing. It's
really
amazing.
At the end of the day, it's
amazing.
Figure out what you're gonna do and how you want it to be for you.
Everyone's RV life is gonna look a little differently, and I know it's sometimes hard. Like, even though sometimes I'll go on social media and be like, "Oh, what I would do to go buy a brand new Brinkley? I want a new Alliance, or can we go to you know what I mean? Like, who does it, right?
ATC. ATC.
But it is.
Those are sweet. Keep talking. I'll be right here.
Anyone can do it. It can always be just done maybe a little differently. That's all. Like, we still live RV life. We still travel. We're still in one of the most beautiful parts of the Florida coast. Ours just looks a little different, but I mean, it's fun and we love it. And
not too bad being an hour and a half away from one of the most beautiful beaches in the entire country.
We are in an amazing area. So, I mean, work camping has definitely saved us tremendously. Last year, you know, May camped all year. We did like up north, and then we took the winter off last year. So we did just travel Florida last year.
The 23 into 24, we traveled just when we came down here in November. We just traveled. We traveled West Coast, East Coast, the Keys, back to the West Coast, back to the whole circle of every spot that we could literally go.
Yeah. And then, then we go back to work camping. So work camping is definitely like, that's what's made it financially.
So you work camp at one or two spots only, and then you go travel and then come back?
Pretty much.
Yeah. We usually, so up north, it's a little bit different for work camping.
Yeah,
so
this one I took full time.
This is our first time work camping in the south, because when we're up north, we start like at the beginning of the spring, because that's when the campground opens, and then we stay there till it closes, because in New England, or at least in Massachusetts, no campground in Massachusetts is open after November. Every single campground in the state of Massachusetts closes after November. So after that, like, you got to find somewhere to go. So, you know, we work until we can, and then we leave, we traveled, and then last year we wanted to find work camping in Florida. It just did not happen. He applied for so many places.
No, I actually had a job lined up from a gentleman. I was supposed to come down, And then literally weeks before, maybe 2 weeks before we were headed down, he said that the company didn't want to acclimate the spot because it was going to be such a loss of revenue for the season that they'd rather just hire an outside party in order to do it. So it was pretty crappy to have that happen when we were literally like 2 weeks away from getting our finals together and hopping on the road and heading down.
Yeah.
But we made it work out. I DoorDash, so extra money.
That's another one.
DoorDash is the other thing that saved us, is me going out on nights and hoping I might make $50 or $70 and come home with $150. It was great.
Last year we spent 14 weeks at Thousand Trails Orlando, so we were in the Claremont area for 14 weeks.
Yep.
Every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks we went to a new place, and then 2 weeks at TTO. A new place for 2 weeks, 2 weeks at TTO. We did that for the entire winter. But it also gave us a home base right back to Orlando, where Manny always knew he could DoorDash. We knew we could get certain things. We knew that we could make some money. And that helped us tremendously last year to get by.
Yeah.
And then thankfully this year, we were able to land a work camping job. So financially this winter, like it's just a huge help for us.
Oh, it's awesome. At least you guys figured out a way to do it all. Keep chasing your dream of the RV life, because there's a lot of things like people like get worried. Like you could fire me tomorrow. I'd be like, I'll figure it out. Like,
that's how we are. I think because we've struggled before, this might I think it helps our story a little bit more because we've struggled and we've came from a struggling past. It's easier for us to struggle. Like I know some people are like, if I don't have $100,000 in the bank account, I'm broke. And we're
God.
Ooh,
I wish.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah,
I'll take that. I'll take that. But I think you have to really learn, if you can live simply and you can learn to live a little frugally, you can survive it. Especially if you maybe don't have a house to sell to start this lifestyle. Not all of us went and bought a home and then have a home to sell. So storage just may look a little bit differently, but you just gotta get creative. Get creative. I think it's the best advice. Get creative.
100%. Get creative. Do your thing. Do it whatever way feels comfortable for you. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, then hey, you got to go back to the brick and mortar old school grind of the life that you live. It's not going to work
for everyone. It's not.
I was able to take the lifestyle that we wanted to lead and have for so long and meld it together with a job now. And luckily we are so happy where we are because the location that we landed, the position that I have, I have a great boss. I basically answer to myself. She tells me what to do and I take care of it. Other than that, we're very lucky. So, our daughter's healthy. Where we are is good. It's amazing.
We're camping such a great financial opportunity for those that are starting off. I think it's not talked about enough. We follow so many full-time families, and I think I know 2 other families out of everyone we follow that do work camping.
Yeah.
Chaos on the Road?
Yes. And them Crayway also do work camping as well, I believe.
Crayway?
Them Crayway. They do work camping as well. And what was that? What was that?
Oh, he's in there causing trouble.
Yeah, dude.
Cat's bouncing off of the wall.
But it's a great opportunity. So if you're looking to join the road and you need a little bit of cash in pocket, look into work camping. It's such a great opportunity.
I agree. I totally agree.
For sure.
It might be the only way that you can even keep it moving.
I mean,
we know folks that work in the KOA system. We have good friends of ours that have been in the KOA system who have money, and they still choose to live this lifestyle. The lady made $60,000 over 4 months.
Yeah,
but
they still
chooses
do it
to live this lifestyle
because they know they have a home base. They can stay a little bit longer, and they get stupid good discounts.
Yep. And now they're going to be down in the Keys enjoying their hard-earned work over many years of going back and forth of work camping from the cold to back. And, the opportunity
That's
is
a good
there.
point. Not everyone does work camping because they need the money. Some people just do it because it's a good way to stay at a campground for cheaper.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's good budgeting advice because it's all in one. You get money and you're staying. So
it really is. It's a huge win. Huge win all the way around.
Yeah. Yep. So next segment here, community and connection. All right. So you guys have been at it for just about 2 years, like pushing on your April 30th or May 1st, whatever. Same, but different. About 2 years there. Have you found a sense of community with the RV space? I mean, I came down to the content creator meeting on Monday of Tampa, and I was like kind of nervous going in there, right? I was like, I'm not a full timer, but I'm in the RV space as a creator. So, but everyone was so like welcoming. It seemed very interesting. But you guys, other than Thousand Trails, have you ever gone to any rallies or anything? What does the RV community look like to you?
The RV community is a little bit different for us, only because I think I'm going to blame my health, and as weird as it sounds, it's the truth. Because of the way my health was affecting my physical appearance, I was very embarrassed. I know that's like the worst thing to say out loud, because let me just say that, no one should ever be embarrassed for your health, okay? I'm going to say that out loud. However, when you go from looking just like quote unquote normal, and then going from having big giant bald spots and an infection and your eyes swollen shut, and I mean I had like lumps on my body. It was weird. Okay, when we hit Florida, I was like, we're not going outside. I'm not gonna go talk to anybody. Like, what am I supposed to do? Walk up to somebody? I have to explain my story every time. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's where your mind goes. Yeah,
it was. And the first campground that we hit when we got to Florida, it was Thousand Trails Orlando, which is like the biggest place for full-time families to go. I mean, it's got over 1,000 sites, and almost everyone there is a full-timer or a full-time family. Like, it's truly the place that we all congregate to meet each other. I stayed in hiding.
Listen, we could say this. I can honestly say she hid most of the time that we had opportunities. I met Jimmy and Sandy, from trying something new, and met them. They'd walk by our camper 3-4 times a day, but a lot of the times
we were hiding.
We
were like in our own little. I think I was just too nervous. I was too nervous.
I'll tell you, I was not ready, first off, to be doing what we were doing in the beginning, because I was still skeptical on even doing the lifestyle on the road. So for me, it was still, are we going to be doing this? Is this actually the reality of it? Is this going to be, hey, we're coming down here and then we're going to head back, and that's that. I'm going to stay back. And I think that's pretty much a lot of the reason that we were very like refined from going to meet ourselves and throw ourselves out to people and say, hey, we're part of this community now. I
regret it a lot. I think we put too much pressure on ourselves.
Yes.
Way too much pressure on ourselves.
I think it was
thinking that we need to be some kind of, we felt we need this big, beautiful camper. We need this following. We needed this reputation to go walk up to someone and say, hi, we're Shannon and Manny.
I don't care.
But we don't care now. And it's sad to think like that, because you look around and you see these big families and you're like, am I just going to go tell them I'm Shannon? Like, and that's silly. I feel like I was back in high school almost. And I think that was a big mentality of us. We're like, are we cool enough to say hi to them? Are we okay?
I'll toss it in there, and I'm not putting any shade on anything. We're not part of the full-time families.
We're not.
We never
joined the full-time families group.
Yeah.
Just because, like, we were bouncing around, I think, a little bit more. We weren't really following the other full-time families. We were really just doing our own thing. But it was truly our first year on the road.
Yeah.
So I think we were just focused on, how do we do this? How do we navigate?
Pretty much.
Where are we going?
How are we doing it? How is anyone else? How the heck are we going to do this?
So we were really focused on our family, which isn't a bad thing. It just was our first year, and we just didn't this was crazy, So
but now in her second year.
Now in our second year, it's a little bit different. I am reaching out to people now. We attended Tampa show, meeting people, and it was so nice. I could even tear up again. It was so nice to be able to walk up to people and be like, hey,
dude, honestly, meeting you in person.
Meeting you was awesome.
After just the fact of we had such a funny situation to start our meeting in general. It was great. Putting a handshake to the face that we had already met.
Even if I was limping around and a little sore.
Yeah. Yeah, that was super cool. It was like I got a lot of you're a lot taller than you'd think. And
you're so tall.
Did you just expect me to be short?
People think of me, they're like, oh, you're so tiny. I'm like,
I did meet you guys, and I was like, "What? This is my people."
Yeah. Take that half seriously.
We're a tiny family.
So 120 square foot to you guys is a little different from me.
We're fine. Oh my god, my poor brother-in-law could never come to this camper because he's so tall. Everyone that comes in here are like, oh, so you're a tiny family that lives in here. But like, yeah, that's why it works.
I see you, as funny as this is, I see you walking in the campers like this and like Shawshank Redemption and putting your hands out to make sure you have enough space to live.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, there you go. That's your advice. If you want to live in a small travel trailer, you got to be short. Sorry.
Yeah. It would help. It would help. Definitely. I mean, I want the van life, right? I mean, I have an Astro van. Literally, that's what I have. It's a GMC Safari Astro, same thing. But mine's gutted. Like Safari? Yeah.
Well, he's not on Instagram.
Dude, you're my guy, bro.
You're my guy.
Yeah. I love it. I'm gonna ask. Wait, do you have barn doors?
I have 3 doors, so I have the hatch and then 2 doors.
So cool.
I'm leaving. I'm so
excited. It's like so I can put out anything, put out lights. I'm not done with it. I have a lot to do to it. I just got it last June and I drove it home from Nebraska. I drove it from Nebraska out to Idaho. It's cool. I've gone hunting in it, gone camping in it several times. I need to deck it out more, but it's been a rougher winter. Just a lot of traveling. There's too much traveling this whole since I got it.
That's so fun though.
That's awesome.
I tell him all the time. I go, when we get the chance, I want a van.
It makes me happy to hear that you're doing it with the old school. You're not bringing in this like the old Astro, the old Safari.
That's so fun.
Yeah. I literally can like go back to loading BMX bikes with like 10 of them in the Safari van and hopping out and going to Boston and them like falling out of the back as we got there. Yeah. I love it. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
That is so great.
But I did camp in a real like Mercedes Sprinter this last weekend when I was in San Diego, and
we saw that.
I could stand up, and I had like this much space, and I was like, "Whoa, woo!" I was like, I got so much room for activities.
With those new vans, it's impressive how tall they are now. It's amazing.
With the pop-ups, those whole the lifts up top that give you that extra area on top of it, it really is crazy. They're crazy.
Those would be nuts. And this, it gets plus 20 miles per gallon.
I think you'd be perfect in the storyteller. You'd be great in the storyteller one then.
You're so funny.
I don't want one of them. No, if it was a storyteller Mercedes Sprinter, yeah.
Oh, I like it.
If I'm going to do that, I'm going to spend the money, but I don't want.
That's right.
Money.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Yeah, the Astro will do for now.
I had to hit the storyteller.
You're throwing low blows at me, man.
All right. Well. So you haven't really, I mean, you're kind of diving into the community. I feel like the RV community is very welcoming, very friendly. So what I saw, I mean, unless it's fake, I'm usually pretty good at feeling that fake. I didn't feel that when I was down at Tampa by no means.
No. Everyone's very welcoming, very friendly. If you walk up to someone's going to say hi to you, and it is amazing.
It was just us being so shy, being so reserved, still trying to understand the whole thing. And
I was just sick. I was very sick. And then walking up, like I said, I didn't want to explain what was going on. I'm sure that person that wants the sap story. I'm like, I'll stick to myself for a little while. We'll just get better. It's fine. And
now we're there.
Well, life happens. You can't stop that part.
You can't. Just gotta work with it.
So I have an interesting question for you guys because you're semi-beginners because you're not even tenured yet.
I know.
What advice would you give someone who's on the fence about transitioning into full-time? You said just go for it. They'd be done, just baptism by fire a little bit, right? But what advice would you give? And then I have another question after that. So,
I mean, kind of like we went into before, I would definitely try it out, right? So, like, try it out. Do a test run.
Play it slow.
Do a test run.
That's the best thing I could say. Play it slow and play it cautiously.
Yeah. You don't got to jump the gun. You don't got to sell your house immediately and pack your bags in 3 weeks like we did. Like, test run it. Do a test run. Be smart about your investments. Don't go as big as you can get. You know, I know big and pretty is amazing, but, like, be a little realistic and just try it out. Just try it out.
Even if you got the money to be big and pretty.
You can always be big and pretty later. First. Yeah, you can always upgrade. That's the coolest thing about RV life. The coolest thing about RV life is it's so much easier to get a new home, right? A new upgrade. You can always switch it out. If you don't like travel trailers, go to a fifth wheel. You know, maybe you don't like the fifth wheel the way it pulls. Head over to, you know, a Class C. Like, it's cool that you can always change it up, but, like, start small. Start easy. Don't go breaking your bank.
Yeah,
just
That's
also my biggest suggestion too, which you don't hear often, is try it out in your home state. You don't gotta like travel the country the second you get into a camper. It's cool. It's really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, who doesn't want to go see the country and travel? I'm so ready to hit the west coast of the United States and Arizona and Utah and Colorado. Like,
I've never even been out there.
But if you're trying it out, like, stay local. Just stay local. I think that was our best thing we ever did, was staying in our home state for the first 6 months, and we started that way. And it was nice knowing that, like, if something did go wrong, we're home. We do have support. We do have family. We do have sources within our own home state to be like, okay, we can figure something out. It's scary when you sell that home, get a camper, and you're 1,600 miles away, and you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
What do I do now?
You figure it out. That's what you do.
You do. We did the same. You do figure it out, but to try it
out last week.
First,
I figured it out last week when my transfer case went on the avalanche right after we left Orlando, 359 miles away from this beautiful town we call our home.
Yeah, TMRV show was a bad luck week for us.
Shouts out to AAA.
We had a rough week.
AAA triple-towed me 3 days in a row. Back to back to back. 358 miles to my home here, and they brought my truck back home. Yeah. And I got to give it to them. I paid that Premier membership, and it was worth every penny. That's
good advice. If you're get AAA.
Yeah, it was a $2,000 tow.
AAA Premier member. If you can spend your money on anything, have a good tow package.
Yes,
have a good tow package.
Good package for roadside assistance,
because we were fine. Our truck wasn't having any issues. It really wasn't until we got to Tampa. Things started making noises and rattling, and then Manny started working on it before we left. We're like, all right, we're good. Packed the truck up, left the hotel, and not even 5 minutes into the road did our transfer case come out of the truck. Or come out of the whatever. So fun. So I mean, have a good tow package. That's always great, because it could be your camper or it could be your truck. Oh. Make sure you can get somewhere.
And here comes the 50-mile-an-hour winds again.
Oh, come on, baby. We got 4 more questions.
We got 4 more minutes. We got 4 more time. We got time.
Okay. Well, we got to make sure. Wind beat us up last time.
I know, right? Stay focused. Let's go.
All right. So, are there any common misconceptions you think about RV living that you could address, or would like to say? Because one of them was like, it's vacation. It's not vacation.
Yeah, it's not a vacation.
It's not vacation.
Or
everything looks the way it does on Instagram.
Or maybe unexpected benefits then. How about that?
Ooh. It's definitely not always a vacation. So I know RV life looks beautiful and amazing, but you do need to, I heard it say a couple weeks ago that was like, you either need to learn how to fix it or you need to get rich. So, a couple of things, like something's always going to break, whether it's on a truck or the camper, you need to get handy. That's always like something that people don't always put into play. Again, right there, right? A lot of people don't put that into play.
There's a way to plug RV fix. Yeah, you got to get handy. You figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
But that's a big one, that people don't always put into play, that maybe be unexpected, things. You got to be ready to fix things, right? If you're not good at fixing things, which is okay, not everyone's
ready to pay to fix things.
You need to be ready to pay. So if you're not good at handyman stuff like Manny is, you better have a good savings account, okay? Because anything can happen anytime. That's always something that you need to prepare for. So make sure you have good tools or a good savings account for fixing things.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
And I don't know, I guess that's the more of the unexpected, is just
go with the flow. Yeah. Try not to stress too much. It's a different lifestyle. Things are going to happen. Something we've got to overcome.
I'm trying to think of what has happened extra, things that have,
a benefit that came out of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying.
Benefit for sure would be bring our family together.
Yeah.
We, just like most families, are very separated when you're living in a home. Doesn't matter how big your home is. If you have bedrooms and separate living quarters, you're going to be in separate living quarters. Being on the tablet, watching TV, an obnoxious amount of time of hours a day definitely has been cut back so much. It's amazing. We spend a lot more time together. Obviously, we're in a smaller space. But even watching TV, it's truly like a before bedtime activity. You know, chilling at nighttime. Just simple.
That's it.
Yeah.
It really is.
Together. I've heard that a lot. It'll either amplify your problems or amplify your love. So
Yeah. It helped us a lot.
I mean, if you're living with anybody in this small amount of space, no matter what, the problem is always going to be the problem. The question is, at the end of the day, how good is it after the solution?
Yeah.
Truthfully.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people ask us a lot, like, oh, do you fight more that you're in a smaller space? I actually don't feel like we do.
No, we have little fights instead of big ones because we're in a small place now.
90% less of a fight. That's what it is.
It almost helps you, like, we've been together for 13 years, right? We're going to have our issues, like everyone else. Everyone's going to have issues. But I think, you know, you can't yell as loud when you're in the camera because everyone hears you. It helps you, like,
be like yelling at each other.
Yeah, like, and he's like, I'm going for a ride. Like, all right, fine. Like, exactly.
Yeah, you want to talk? Fine, I'm hopping on my golf cart.
Go for a ride.
Whispering at each other.
It helps. It definitely helps. Go for a walk.
It's like stepbrothers when they're sleeping. And they're like, it's like, I'm gonna fill a bag of pillows.
I know you touched my ghost.
Oh man, that's good.
Oh god, I love
Such
that
a great movie.
Yeah, that's good.
Every time I hear anything with it just makes me want to go watch television.
Anything with Will Ferrell is amazing.
I want to stick my leg with a fork and scream that I'm Carol.
I cannot.
The kilo of Colombian Bam Bam strapped to the bottom of the car. Get going.
That's like our favorite line.
Magic Man. That's a terrible name. No, it isn't. I love it.
Oh, jeez. Well, anyway, okay, so yeah, it's made things better for you, brought the family together. I've heard that several times for a lot of people, which is great. Honestly, you're doing more things together versus just like watching TV together, watching a movie together. That's like a big thing that we love watching movies together. My family does. Every time we're always like, there's a movie night when I go home.
Oh yeah, we love movies.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we also like to go hike around, do stuff, and you know all the good stuff. So, but you guys being out in nature the whole time for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Because you have 120 square feet, you can't really spend a ton of time in there. You don't have like the same like couch space, rocker, whatever it is.
Exactly.
To, like really veg out. It's a little harder to just veg out in something like that.
Yeah. It's totally different. It's totally our veg out is outside, pretty much.
Yeah, or in bed.
It ain't all bad. It ain't all bad. So you guys have only been on the road for about 2 years, right? What are some, since you guys have, it's a little different because you know you've done work camping. And it's kind of like work camping, and then you're kind of riding the East Coast. You're kind of going back and forth, north and south. Yeah. What are some of your, I guess, favorite places that you've been? Favorite things that you've done? Besides actually moving into an RV, that doesn't count.
Favorite places?
I
can tell you. Go ahead. You go first.
I can do it in short. The Keys, Bradenton, here.
Yeah, we fell in love with Bradenton last year on the west coast of Florida because of those white sands and crystal clear waters. So it is beautiful, and that's what actually drew us back looking into this area, and that's how we end up in Panama City because we're like, we really liked that area. Myrtle Beach was fun.
Wait, I got to cut you off. For the record, I did not know how far Panama City Beach was when I took this job. Just be clear, I did not know. I thought all of Florida was kind of close.
Up and over.
Yeah, but way in there. Way up in there.
When I decided to look up after I had took the job and gone full helm, I was in, we're going, we're paid, I'm ready. Yeah, it was a 7.5 hour drive. I was like,
from Orlando.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We're like,
this is a new state.
It's
a different time zone.
It's a different time zone. We didn't even realize that until we were driving into the area and the clock moved back. We're like, did you see that? What just happened?
Did you feel that? It feels
different. Did you feel that? We just
It was 5 o'clock, then we were back to the future, 4 o'clock. I was like, what?
It was amazing. So we like pulled into our spot at 4. Another place we loved is Myrtle Beach. We stayed at a beautiful campground that was on the water.
Gorgeous.
Had an indoor pool. It was beautiful.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach is gorgeous. I gotta say,
Obviously, the Keys. We
the
love
Keys is always a win. Like you
Yeah.
can't. It's beautiful. Sunshine Key is
Fiesta,
gorgeous.
both of
Fiesta
them.
Key.
Yeah, they said Bradenton.
Bradenton.
Yeah.
My daughter crept out of her little hiding spot and is like, I love Manatee.
Oh yeah, but she's going to the Bradenton area.
It's a manatee.
That Kim's on the phone. Manatee.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, I gotta say, the west coast of Florida is pretty much one of our favorite spots. Just a lot of the west coast in general. Venice was beautiful. Anna Marie Island.
If you like
was
to
beautiful.
go, if you get out of Florida and you want to head up to the northeast, which is where we're from, if
Say
we
hi.
could prefer
Say hi real
anywhere
quick. Say hi.
Hey.
If we could prefer anywhere to camp, it would definitely be New Hampshire. Love New Hampshire on the Saco River specifically.
Yes.
So if you ever head up north and you want a beautiful, crystal clear river in New England, that is amazing for kayaking and paddling and fishing. That's like top. When we go home, I'm like, are we going to New Hampshire? Are we going to Saco?
But when we head north, the stop is always Lake Gaston.
I love it.
Lake Gaston
North Carolina.
in North Carolina is
favorite.
It's stunning. I think it's a 14-mile lake. It's 14 miles long, I believe, and it is just
It connects to Virginia.
Yeah, it's the border between North Carolina and Virginia.
It's really cool. It's
What's
beautiful.
it called? Lake
Gaston.
Gaston, yes.
Definitely like our favorite lake, like coming down towards the south, because it's just so big and beautiful, but it's also not infested with gators, which is cool.
It's clean. It's very clean.
It's always fun. We've hit it on the way up and on the way back down, and it's just
So there's it's if you want to see where we were staying, look up
it was Thousand Trails Lake Gaston.
It's Thousand Trails Lake Gaston,
Yep.
but it has an old name from the old way from the company that owned it before.
I can't think of it right now, but it's a beautiful. We love that area. That's such a nice area because the trees are beautiful over there. It's woodsy, but you have a nice, like, huge lake that you can go fishing and boating on.
What
And
town is that in?
that's an awesome place to go to. They have the boats right there at that campground, which is cool because not a lot of Thousand Trails offer boats. That one does.
Oh wow,
That's cool. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So now, what's next? What are your future plans or goals with the RV journey? Are you gonna upgrade? Are you gonna hit west, or are you staying the east side?
So for right now, we are staying put here in Panama City Beach. We are hoping to spend at least a year here. We would love to experience every season here. Okay. We obviously just experienced the whole winter here. Oh goodness, everything's gonna go off at the same time. So we're gonna be here for about the next year. That's our goal. We'll see how that goes. And then we would like to upgrade our camper within this year. It's time. It's time. So our biggest thing is we really don't want anything too big. We honestly maybe go 30 feet. 35 is like pushing it for us. We still want to be a little small so we can still travel and go all the places, because hopefully after next year we'll head west. Manny's never been to Colorado. I've only been out there for a wedding for my sister like 5 years ago. Sky's never been anywhere other than the East Coast. So that is definitely like one of our goals. We'd love to just hit the other side of the country, see completely different areas than we've ever seen. And yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, some point this year, our goal is by the end of the year to at least upgrade into something. Whether that's something new, something used again, we're not really sure. But that is definitely like our goal this year for sure.
Very nice. Yeah. I mean, riding up and down the East Coast, I mean, you're going to see, obviously get favorite places, but the West, I'm telling you. I mean, there's a reason I moved west.
I keep telling him, I was like, I really think he's gonna love the West more than he realizes.
Yeah.
Sky and I are huge beach people. He likes the ocean, but like it's not him. And I was like, once you go west, you're gonna love it. It's cool.
If you don't like the beach, you will like the mountains.
Yeah. And I think he's gonna love the mountains when it's not freezing. Unless he's on a snowmobile, he's like, no snow for me. Maybe you guys get like right in a sweet spot.
Yeah, there's a couple places up here where you can rent snowmobiles, and like there's a called McCall. You can hop on a snowmobile and ride like I think it's like 10 or 20 miles on a snowmobile into Bergdorf Hot Springs, and you can stay there for like a week.
See,
Yeah.
I'm all about that. That sounds good to me. Let's hit a hot spring, have a snowmobile, I can warm up after. That's cool. That's our kind of fun. We're not skiers or any of that. I wish we were, but we're not.
I'll be skiing tomorrow. Oh
my gosh, no! I'll be at the beach.
Yeah. Well, I'll be at the beach at the bottom of the snow hill. How about that?
That's great. That's awesome.
We do call there's a place where we do call it the beach in Keystone. At Keystone, the backside they have a big like all the mountain coming together, all the runs come down to one. It's called the beach. Everyone, it's like there's like 200 people sitting and drinking. Yeah, just watching everybody come down, making fun of people.
Oh, we love people watch. That's our favorite.
If someone falls, boo that man! Boo! Oh wow, you're like, yeah, way to go! But yeah. All right, so it looks like we lost Manny for a minute, but
you come back now?
I'm back.
Okay,
he's back. This is good. All right, so we asked her what the plan was for the future of the RV journey for you guys, and she said eventually go west and probably upgrade within the next year or so.
Yes. And she basically is 100% answer. That's what we have been talking about now for probably about a year and a half since we started doing this. We wanted to come here, enjoy some time here, get the feel of living in the RV, understand the RV life, and really like dial it in. And now I think that we've done that. We are ready to take that step, get a better camper, or I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
How dare you?
A newer camper.
She said it's so good.
And I'm so sorry. Definitely, something newer, definitely bigger. So that way we have room, obviously, for all of us and a little more space to feel a little bit less closed in. But
we don't, like I said, we don't even want anything crazy big. And we just really want to be able to get her a separate bedroom area because she does have the double bunks, which has been great. But she's double digits now. She's getting to her preteen stage where like having her own privacy in her own room would be just nice. So that's like the only reason why we want to get just a little bit bigger, just to kind of have that closed off space. And I would love for us to have a couch because we do not have a way to sit down as a family.
Yes.
But other than that, like that's like really all we're like we want for a camper and the new one. We're not too crazy.
Yeah, I'm happy with what we got. We don't need a lot.
If we can push it, I really want a toy hauler.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Hey, you want to manifest it. Put it out into the universe, right?
Yep.
You never know.
I'm a fan of the ATC travel trailer that they just released.
Yeah, he liked that a lot at the show. He did.
I'm a big
fan.
They're
sweet. They're very sweet. But so any favorite? Yeah, there you go. Give them a follow. You guys have different pictures across your pages. Just so you know that.
I love that.
See this one? This one is the avalanche in the RV. This one.
I love it. Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, I keep them. I changed them all for you. And there's all your links as well.
I love that. Thank you so much. It's awesome.
Since I'm bringing up all the links, what are some of your favorite gadgets and gizmos that you found living the RV life? Because it's different. You need different supplies or tools or accessories.
Yeah. No oven, so we use an air fryer. The air fryer
that's a good one.
Is God.
That's a good one.
House.
That's so funny. I wouldn't even thought from the top of my head, but yeah, without our air fryer, that's like.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Air fryer.
I mean,
our Instapot thing now that we have is like a game changer for cooking. Oh my gosh.
I gotta say, I really don't think that we've.
Your tools.
Like my tools were my tools before, so I still needed my tools.
Our Gazelle tent has been a big thing for us because of how small our camper is. Having that extra like outdoor room outside is amazing. That's definitely one of our top things that we got. But I don't know.
I'm trying to think what else.
We get all kinds. We get stuff all the time. Organizing. So if you live in a small space, find ways to organize. So anything that's helped us, like our little shoe organizers and our little, buckets and things. Anything that's added a place for a place or something for a place is just organization.
I don't know. I think I'm not really like. I guess
I'm like looking around the
I
camera
guess
right
I've
now, I'm
been in
like-
here so long, and now I've been in here. I'm so used to everything. I don't
Blanket.
feel like it's a change now. It's like it wasn't a change. I guess it's.
I think we have a lot of stuff that you would have like in your home. Just
Yeah.
like I mean, we have an ice maker, we have a
have-
Keurig, like
Yeah, we have all that stuff. So I really don't.
we have
think-
our T-Mobile router. Like we have a lot of stuff that you would find like in your home. I mean,
Yeah, the minus is just the space. There's nothing changed. I still use the same size tools on everything. You're gonna need maybe some new tools to deal with the problems that you didn't have before.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's always gonna be necessities you need for campers, right? You know, like your hoses and your
but I'm actually trying to like narrow that down.
sewer
and
hose and
think.
stuff. But
Yeah, like the sewer hose. Obviously, you're going
Right.
camping. So if you're not a camper, sewer hoses, water lines, things like that. Check your
water
lines.
filter, obviously,
I'm
is a huge one for us.
trying to think.
But other than that, no. I think we have
The
everything.
water filter, yeah, that's pretty much. Change your water filter every month, folks, please.
Every month. Every
Every
month.
month,
Every
let's do
month.
it.
Once a month. Depending on how many people live in your home, if there's more, you might want to change it twice.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
know. You got to
Yeah.
keep clean water. That's huge. Nothing else has really changed.
I do
Everything
think
is like the same.
Yeah.
It's so weird to say that now that we've lived this way now for almost 2 years, but
Everything. It's just a smaller space. We
it's
have
just
less
a
stuff.
smaller space. That's really it. It's
Yeah.
watch the movie Downsizing. That's pretty much what happens.
I got one actually, which isn't a big one. Is our fridge is very small,
Yes.
so to help with our tiny fridge is our bougie RV cooler. It's not a big one that a lot of people talk about, but it's an electric cooler, so we can actually put it down to -0, so it's a freezer, which is amazing.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that? Negative zero?
Bougie RV.
Bougie
Negative
RV.
zero? How do you get
Negative
to negative zero?
It'll
I know it says like
no,
-0 on it.
It goes to negative temperature, so it'll go to
Oh, yeah,
like negative 25
Yeah,
degrees.
that's right. You always have -0 on it. That's why it always says that, right? You know,
That's
it's
so
like
cute.
-0 or whatever.
I was like, sure.
She's really blind.
Smart for a minute.
Negative
Show my
zero.
little
That
self.
must be Celsius, you know?
negative degrees Celsius.
Well, yeah, I was talking Celsius. What are you talking about? Come on. So
Oh,
that's a big one for us. Just because we do have a smaller fridge, when we are like stationary, it's nice to get some like more meat. Or especially when we were in Maine, we were an hour from our grocery store out in the middle of nowhere. So that was like a game changer for us because we were buying for like 3 to 4 weeks at a time, and you don't have room in these tiny fridges in our tiny camper for a month worth of food. So that was a big one for us. A huge. It's just a good
Huge.
investment because
Huge.
whether you want to have it in a fridge or a freezer, it's like
You
just
can
having that
store.
extra. And you can plug it in the vehicle, so whether it's plugged into a house plug or the truck, it's like
Yeah, you can take it wherever.
Yeah.
It makes it
good for meat. Good for meat.
yeah, that's how we were
Yes.
able to transfer like our groceries when we were
Rock
living
solid.
far. It was amazing.
definitely freezes everything as rock solid as I've seen. It's quality. It works. And to have it is a definite help.
It's
Minus-
a huge one.
Yeah. And again, that breaks down to the space. Just a smaller space. You have to prepare for living with less time frame on your food, or less time frame for whatever you have that needs to be put away in a cool area.
Right.
It's pretty much like, it's but day to day, you're still doing your day to day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're full time and you're only content creating and that's your means of, income, well then that's your job. Me, I go to work. She stays home and does the content creation. And it's like, it hasn't changed. You still have a job. You still work. You still come home,
Mhm.
just smaller now.
Gadgets, yeah, same stuff.
Same stuff. My laptop's a MacBook still.
Yep.
It really is. I can't say I have many fancy gadgets. Dyson vacuum, small, same.
Yeah, we still have like a regular vacuum.
Yeah,
and
it's like it's hard to say that, but it's very much the same, but it's still very
just have
different.
more tools and have a place to go outside to help you organize your stuff, to have an extra space. I feel like that's like really the only difference.
Have a black tank cleaner. Keep your black tank cleaners. Wands.
And the gray tank. Actually,
And-
gray tank actually puts out more stench than the black tank.
Way more because of the food that goes through there on top of it.
Yeah, so actually it's skin cells too.
So
Apparently.
gross.
Yeah, I learned that one. I was
I
like,
know,
really?
it's so gross. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Camp Champ told me that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ew.
That's gross. I'm like, that's gross.
Like-
Ew.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I thought.
No, but
that goes into really learning RV life, right? And just
Yeah, it does.
I feel like that's not even like good gadgets. Like you need to know RV life to properly attend RV life. Like having those proper cleaners and stuff like that. Like that's why just educate yourself first.
Yes.
Like even attend an RV show. Hell, that's the best advice before you go into an RV full time. Attend an RV show and talk to all the vendors so you can learn.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, they might chase you for sale, but you're going to learn a lot. They know.
Yeah, it's true though. You'll learn a lot.
Yeah.
You'll learn a lot.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's been amazing talking to you guys. I have one question, which you kind of already answered, like within and a roundabout way. We touched on it early on. We touched on it midway and a little bit at the end here as well. But I love to ask, like, what's your why? I know it sounds like you guys just got in a situation. You wanted to be in a tiny home anyway. So it like kind of happened, the stars aligned and boom, see ya.
Yeah.
But why do you keep doing it? Why do you want to excel at doing it?
I think living the same got really boring.
Yeah.
The monotony.
Yeah.
It's just the day to day of, yeah, I still wake up, I still go to work, I get that. But the day to day of the other part of my life, which is my wife and my daughter, and always hearing something different at the end of my day is way cooler than always hearing the same thing at the end of my day.
Yeah.
Knowing that they got to experience something other than the regular of norm or what most people are used to as the norm. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I think especially for me too, is
that's it.
Just not having to live like, it gets depressing, right? Especially when you're in New England. If you've lived up north, like it is a horrible winter experience. It's just gray and dreary. It's not even just it's cold. It's just gray and dreary. And not having to live that life anymore. And that keeps me pushing. Like knowing that every day when we wake up, we could wake up in the most beautiful area. We can move in a different area. Like we're sick of the place where we're at. We're like, okay, where do you want to go? What do you want to see in the world? What do you want to experience? And the fact that we can literally go, okay, well, let's plan it. Let's get up and let's go. And you can't do that when you're living a typical home apartment life. And that keeps me going, knowing that like, hey, we're going to spend a year here in Panama City Beach. Sound cool? Sounds amazing. Hey, next year you want to go to Colorado? Maybe let's do it. Like, it's just, that keeps us going. Also, the financial freedom of no longer paying over $2,000 of rent, I think will always sit in the back of my mind going, yeah, we miss home. Of course, I miss his mother more than anything. She's like an angel, okay? But I can't wait to go visit. You know? Like, we'll go visit. We're actually already talking about, like, hey, this year is going to be our first year not traveling back up the East Coast to go work camp. Do you want to plan a nice vacation? And we'll just go for a few weeks. Yeah, sounds cool.
For a few weeks, and then I'm ready to leave.
So that definitely keeps us going, just knowing that you can always create the life that you want just by, like, you have to do it. Just create it. Figure out, make a plan, and do it.
And just do it.
Yeah, and I love that. I feel like when we were in the apartments, like...
Shouts out to Nike.
Trying to plan a vacation, it's like, oh my god, you gotta take off work. Oh, I gotta take off work. Well, now we gotta contact the school system to take her out of the school system. Now we gotta give this and we gotta give this notice. Like we don't. This morning before school, it's Friday. Her and I spent an hour and a half at the beach this morning looking for conch shells.
Terrible way to start the day. Terrible way.
Horrible way to start the day.
Terrible way.
It was horrible.
Cup of coffee. Just... Oh, another one. Oh, another one.
Like that itself keeps me going every day. I'll never that. That's my why right there. Like, oh, I got to start my morning at the beach, and then we did schooling. That's cool.
Awesome. It's just different. That's it. It's just different.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. Getting out of the monotony. That's a big, I think that's a big reason why people do it. Going and seeing things. There's people that never leave their home city, home state, home county. I mean, that's all a big reason why I left where I came from. Cause like a lot of people just, that's what their mindset was like, man, there's just so much more out here, guys.
You're stuck on being stuck. And it's sad to see. It's really,
and that's how a lot of people are from like our hometown and our home area is. A lot of people are like, oh, well, I would love to go see that. I would love to go do that. I would love to experience this. And we're like, but you can.
Yeah.
But you can.
That is true.
Like, just do it. And
Just
Yeah.
do
All a
it.
choice. It's all a choice.
All a choice, exactly.
That's it.
Well, Shannon and Manny, it's been absolutely wonderful talking to you guys. Do you have anything else you'd like to share before we kind of close out here?
No, thank you so much for
No,
having
thank
us.
you
I'm
for
so glad
having
we got
us.
to
It
do
was
this.
such a
We
good
made it
time.
work.
Round
We made
three!
it work. Yeah. Jeez, I'm big.
Nailed it!
This week's been a nightmare for me.
I'm so sorry, man.
I hope that 5G trick right there saves a few more to come.
It's okay. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Back up,
We'll make
back
it work.
up. No, that was
Seriously.
awesome. We really appreciate you having us. It was
Yeah.
cool to tell our story. We actually haven't had an experience to really like deep dive into like who we are and our story. So thank you.
Yeah, seriously, we appreciate it. Truly.
Absolutely. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you guys. If you guys are listening to this, give them a follow on their IG. They're still building that one, but they're really popular on TikTok. Their TikTok is popping off. That's how we first got connected, actually.
Yes,
So this is one of 2 people that I've had off of TikTok. I'm not a TikTok person.
Hey!
I'm not a TikTok person. I was like, I know I kind of felt bad. I felt a little morbid about it. Like when it shut down, I was like, yes. So I didn't have to deal with it. But I was like, a lot of people live off of that.
CapCut would have been a problem.
It's all right. We're back.
yeah.
We're back.
That actually, when I found out Monday morning, I was like, CapCut shut down.
I know. I did the same thing. I messaged him. I was like, CapCut got it too.
I can do some stuff on CapCut, and like if they would have shut that off, I was screwed. I was screwed.
I know. You don't realize how great the app is until it's gone. You're like, how am I supposed to make this now?
That's great.
Yeah, they're also building their YouTube. You're building your YouTube. So give them a subscription. Subscribe there. This area and this right there. And check out their link tree. Their link tree as well. They got all sorts of stuff on there. So
Yeah, we do.
content creation, you guys are crushing it. Keep going. Keep doing your thing, and keep enjoying life on the road. RV living life. You are living life for sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Hey, we love what you're doing, honestly.
Yeah, we
what
do.
you're doing is huge.
This is awesome.
It's big. People need to hear what they need to hear and what they don't want to hear, even if they don't want to hear it.
It's cool that you're getting everyone's story from different perspectives and different backgrounds, and it's cool.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Truthfully.
Awesome.
Follow RV Voice. Don't forget, get on there.
I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate the love and support.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
We'll see you soon.
Awesome, guys. Everybody out there, stay tuned for more from the RV Voice.
Cheers.